It's recording. Say hey. Say hi.
Hi.
Say what's up.
Oh, no.
Say who you saying hello to?
Discard! Discard! Discard!
Hey guys, back again. I wanted to add this to the video. OBS, Cadillac Escalade dash. So I don't know how much gas I got in there, so I'm kind of risking it. Pick up my kids from school, so can't get to my phone, so you guys you can bear with me for a little bit. Short ride, guys. I got my kids to pick up and it happened to be right now. Took for the drive and my alarm goes off. So we got about 200. I'll give it a minute. This thing keeps going off. So it is 1:30. I gotta get ready to pick up my kids. I got little ones. I got 2 of them getting out of school pretty soon. So yeah, anyways, I just wanted to add this to the video. That it does move. It runs. It's going. So pretty much now I gotta button everything up and finish these doors, get the carpet in, get the rest of the wiring harness for the seats, center console, stuff like that. blah 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 blah. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I'll talk to you later. Please like, comment, and subscribe. All right, this is gonna be a couple of videos kind of cut in and out. I've been working on the truck here and there, just kind of trying to get it going. What I have sitting around, I don't have all the parts yet that I need to replace. So all right, guys, so I tried to put the panel in. It might be easier doing it with two people. Now these fiberglass panels are very durable, so they're very strong. Since it's fiberglass, I didn't want to crack the edges that are going in here, because it will crack too as well, because it is fiberglass. But being the edge, it's really brittle on the corners if that's what you're going to grab. So the way these panels were made, that edge of the panel tucks underneath there, and it has a groove that's shaped like that edge, and the idea is it's supposed to go down and under and tuck in that spot. So I think because the original panels were thinner and it has like a little bit of a flexibility, it's easier to get those in there, and they slip right in there because they're made for that size. But this being fiberglass, the resin is a little thicker, and it looks like they cleaned it up and they rounded off the edge. They rounded off this edge right here. They made it kind of rounded a little bit so it can tuck under there easier. The first try I tried doing it, they went underneath, but they got stuck like right in between here. They didn't go into that groove like it's supposed to, which, I mean, it is helping, but after you get that in there, I don't think that's really a big problem, because those panels are so durable that they're more of a solid piece. When you get these bolts in, it's not going to go anywhere. Now I don't have, there's supposed to be these clips to go right here. I believe it's on the edge, on the end of this side of the driver, of the tail end of it, where they're like clips, something like this, where they slip on and then it has a bolt so you can screw on there. So I don't have those, because when I got this bed, pretty much I took some bolts from when I got this side off, but this other side was off, and I didn't know the guy had it. I didn't want it though, but he had it. Like a couple days later, I went back over there because my son's getting his truck painted over there, and he had the panel for the driver's side, passenger side. He asked me if I wanted it. I told him no, I didn't want it. He wanted, I think it was like $500-600 for it. I was like, no, I'm good. And I should have got the bolts, but I didn't think about it. Well, it was already off, so I don't even know if he had the bolts or not. So they're like these butterfly bolts that they slip over, and on the other side of it, it has where you can screw on, like something like this one. So I don't have those, so I'm gonna have to pick those up. There's some other things I'm gonna have to pick up as well, so I'm gonna need. And then I noticed that this is missing. This one's not the same as these. Either they broke off or they didn't have it. So I'm going to run a nut underneath there for these two right here, because this one has one and the other side has all three. So yeah, anyways, I'm gonna give it another shot. You guys can watch me for more, see how I did it. So the idea is to go over, this side is gonna go, you can see where that lip is at, that's gonna wrap around on this side, and I'm gonna keep it up and then scoop it down into there, so both sides, you'll see right now, and then this should butt up right here, and then when I get those look like butterfly clips, those are gonna connect to the bed itself, and then I'll be able to run a screw. But for now, what I'm gonna do is I can still run the screws for the tail light, I can run the screws here on the edge of the bed and here, and this should keep that in there for now until I get the rest. Anyways, it's gonna have to come off a couple times because those are gonna get repainted, and those are possibly gonna need some body work as well. Get a nice finish before they're even sprayed. I don't know what this coating is. Maybe it's just a protection or just something they laid over. I don't know exactly what that is. All right, guys, so I'm going to put you right here so you get an idea what I'm doing. Let me see if this will work without setting you guys up on a tripod or anything. That's kind of too far. Okay. Let's see if that works. It's gonna be stubborn, guys. There it is. Something's getting hung up. That side went in. Alright guys, hope you guys can see this. So, it wasn't easy. Gotta kind of get it. Alright, so this one slipped in, this one's mostly on, this one's on, this one's almost all the way in, this one's sitting about there, and that one's in. So, what I had to do, because the first time I went in, they were just the lip right here, the edge of the lip right here was sitting right underneath this portion of it right here. And so what I did is I went and had and pulled them away, and I used a I use a crescent wrench, and what I did is I pried them to come this way towards me a little, just to give them enough room so they can slip in, because like I said, the original ones are probably a little thinner in material, and the whole idea is just to get that lip tucked underneath there. So they're pretty, those are all pretty close. Remember, it's a remanufactured one. It's one that was remade. So I'm gonna check all the bolts and see how everything lines up, see how that works, because the bolts weren't that lined up that great, and this panel was a lot flatter. I don't know if you can see in there, but it's a lot closer to the bed. So it looks like it lines up pretty good. That one's there, that one's there. I'm gonna run some nuts underneath there, crawl underneath there and put some nuts on there. I might weld some on there later. And then it looks like that one lines up right there. You can see the hole. That one should be close right there. All right, so I think that's gonna work. So my advice is, do not tighten these bolts 100%. till you get them on, slightly bolted on, but don't tighten them yet, because you're gonna have to wiggle this thing around. Right now I got the bed on, so I have to loosen the bed to get to these bolts here on the inside here. So I'm gonna do that later. Right now I'm just trying to fit it, and this is possibly gonna take a couple of times for me to take it off. Also, it's gonna need some body work down the line, like I explained earlier. Like you can see little pitting holes there, and it's, I mean, I'm not gonna keep it that Smurf color. So right now it's just the fitment, because these are not original. So it looks like it's pretty good. It fits right in this concave area. It fits with this steel plate from the bed. And just keep an eye out for when you're putting it on. Try to get the fitment right. So this has like indentions where the bolts would be on. This one had a little layover, so I just grinded down a little bit of the fiberglass to get that bolt all the way in. That's pretty much about it. And like I said, these right here, I pulled these just a little bit of hair. You're not supposed to, but I pulled them a little bit because the thickness of this panel, it's a little thicker, I believe, from the original one. And the other one was more of a softer material, has like a flex to it. This doesn't have a flex to it. This is fiberglass, so it has very little flex on there, but they're very durable. And then I lined it up with the tailgate to get an idea of, because this does move up and down, because it's not 100% bolted. And then I got this bolted on to kind of give an idea, and then for it to get really tight with that plate that's right there, so to marry up with this really good. So that's what I looked for. And like I said, I didn't tighten any bolts. So my first try, I had a hard time with these, and then the second time it was binding, so I needed to slide it more towards the back and to get it towards that way a little bit more. And so I loosened it back up, and then I was able to lift it back up, like if I was taking it off, and slid it more back this way. So I think it's because I don't have those bolts on the inside of the cab, in between the cab and the bed. So I'm going to loosen the bed, pull that away, and then put those on. That should snug it up more, and then I should be able to get that hole connected. But like I said, I need those special clips to go on that. But yeah, it's just a dry fit. And then I still got to run everything else in it, get those brackets for the bottom portion. But with it not even having those brackets, look at it, it's pretty sturdy. It has a little bit of a wobble, but it's pretty sturdy. I mean, if it was the original ones, they'd be wobbling everywhere like a piece of cardboard. But since these are fiberglass, they're pretty durable, that this is not wobbling around. Even on the steel ones, if I took those brackets those metal brackets off that hold on the edge here, like right here, and they hold onto the, give it support. Even the panel on a fleet side would wobble around, but since these panels are very durable, they have a strong structure. All right, guys. Okay. Now we remember these are not wing nuts. Wing nuts are something else. But this is what I was talking about. These go onto the fiberglass panel. As you can see, the ones that are left here, I just barely recognized that this side was on. Now that panel was off, so when they removed it, it must have kept these. Or it's on the panel itself, stuck on the panel. So these kind of just wrap around on the edge of the panel on the inside, and then you have something to bolt onto. So they're probably most likely on that old panel, and they probably kept them because, as you can see, the leftover material from the old panel. That was a good idea, a good example of what I'm showing you. The material, the original material, that has no fiberglass whatsoever in there. And I believe this is a resin, or no, it's not resin, it's I forgot the name of it right now. But as you can see, this is the material that most of this original panel was made out of. It's really, look, you can see it has like a flexibility to it. Polyurethane, I believe that's what they're called. It's called. So it has a bit of a flex to it. You can see it bends, but they're so brittle because of, pretty sure it's because of age and just the heat shrinkage. It's shrinking from the heat and the cold. But there's another chunk that's right there that it's stuck on. So see, here's a good example of how thin it is. It should be able to fit right in there really easy. So if this was the edge of the original panel, you can see how it can fall in there really easy because of the thickness of it. Now the thickness of these panels are they're a little more thicker, so looks like they edge the back part of it so it can roll into it. You can see. Plus it has a flex to it. All right, guys, so I'm going to take this one off right there, and then I'm going to attempt to put the other one in. Okay, so for my own peace of mind, I don't want to struggle getting this, so what I'm doing is I'm just using this to pry up a little bit, just like that, and I'm tweaking, just bending that metal just a hair, give it a little bit of a play. All right, guys, check it out. This one, they're not gonna be perfect. Like this one right here, see how it's sitting on top? Like that side I would push in, and then this side will come out, and then I'll push this side in, and then that side will come out. So there is a little bit of a difference to it. Also, it's just the fitment. You got to play with it a little bit, but I mean, it is like 99% almost there, like 95%. There's really not much to. And then these bolts lined up really good, and these lined up really good right there. Now these I still need to put on, but I'm not going to put them on yet because I'm going to be taking it off and on. And these, I went ahead and bent these a little bit. These two were bent out just a little bit too much, so I might just go ahead, I mean for the panel, otherwise they were fine. The other ones, they all went right in. This one went in, these all went right in. So I think it's just the thickness, and when the mold, when it comes out, it's a little bit off maybe, but I mean it's really close, as you can see. And you can just play with these, and they're pretty flexible, these little plates, these metal plates there, they bend. I don't think you're supposed to bend them, but otherwise it works. The whole idea is you're supposed to just tuck the material in right there, and it's just supposed to stay there. But like I said, the material is not like this original one. It's a lot thicker, So as you can see how thin that is compared to that. So that's easy to go underneath there. But it works. All right, guys, I'll get back to you guys. This is just a overview of the step side bed for 99-06. And this other side, the driver's side, is just the same as the passenger side. You just get that one side closer to the cab over that lip, and then you just tuck it in there. And just be mindful, take your time, be careful. That's what I'm doing. It's a remolded step side panel, so not everything's gonna be 100, but this is like almost dead on, even to the molding that it fits around this panel. As you can see how it's snug, even has that line of the materials you can see right there. It fits right in there. And then look at the edge, it's just perfectly lined right in there. So yeah. And then as for the price, I was talking about earlier, I believe it was either like from, I think it was 16, maybe 1600 was the original price. I don't remember, don't quote me on that. It might be 1800, I don't remember. I have to go back and take a look. It's because I got a discount on mine, so it might be a different price for you guys. But get a hold of Chris and talk to him and see what he can do for you. And like, you know, I asked him around Christmas time. It was a little hard for me because I had to not just deal with stuff for Christmas. I had to come up with money to get those panels. So he does have an option of doing payment plans. Maybe they might offer something else there, but I was able to get it done. Yeah, but anyways, you guys go get yourself some new panels. I would suggest to get those instead of using those older ones. It's gonna work out for me. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later, and I'll come back to you guys and let you guys know how everything went. All right, guys, so it's the next day. Let me turn you guys around on the step side, show you how it looks. I want to show you these lights real quick. A little bit what I'm dealing with installing these lights. So I had to shave a little bit here right in the corners because this fiberglass is really thick, so I had to clean that up just a little bit. I used a drill, just got in there and just went back and forth to clean it up. You just got to be careful on that. So if you guys do pick up some step side beds from Street Concept, just be aware that you might have to clean up little areas like that because the mold is a little thicker, the material is a little thicker. The material is thicker here as well for these clips, but otherwise it works. Plus there's a lot of other mounting bolts on here to keep it in place, but as long as these get in place, you're good to go. Everything pretty much lines up, but I wanted to show you on this light that I deal with. Now I didn't get both lights, and that was okay because that light I got with the bed, the guy just threw it in there. He threw a bunch of used parts that were in there that he was just going to get rid of, and he couldn't find the other light. But anyways, I kept this one just so that I can see what I'm dealing with, and it's a good thing that I got it because I was able to see how this light went in, because this wasn't a full bed when I got it. So I was able to see how these install. So these go in just like that, right in there like that, and then the clip and it butts up right into that area right there. So for the time being, what I'm going to do is I just mask this up, and you want to get yourself a really sharp razor blade if you want to do the same. This is just, I'm doing this for the time being. I'm not sure, I might end up seeing if I can find another used one. If not, I'll just get a whole new set. I'm not sure how the aftermarket are going to work, but I might just keep them stock. That's what the idea is. But this has like a red trim around it. Now I'm not sure if they all have that, because I never had a step side bed before. So this one looks really faded. It looks like it was red at one point, but it looks, as you can see, it looks kind of pink colorish. And you can see the edges are a little darker just on the outer part, and it looks like the sun just really got to it. So what I did is I masked the areas where the actual lights come out, where you can see the amber and the red and the reverse light, and I masked that up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just paint this outer part for now with the black paint, so it won't look so horrible, and just leave it like that for now. And then later I might just go ahead and sand the whole thing down and clear coat it, or maybe redo it with a red. I'm not sure yet. See what, there's a couple ideas that other people have done out there. So this is what I'm running with right now. I don't have the driver's side, so if I find another pair, I'll just keep this one as a spare, just in case. But otherwise, it's got a couple scratches here, as you can see, right in here. So I'm just gonna sand that down with some sandpaper a little bit, and then shoot it with black, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like afterwards. I'm not sure if this harness that was from the fleet side, I'm not sure if those bolts are gonna work, but I'll find out right now. I'm gonna take a look at it. I haven't got to that point yet, and if it does, I'll let you guys know. But I just wanted to show you guys how it went. And again, thank you, Chris, for giving me a hand on these panels. These panels are the best way to go, hands down. My opinion, these are better than the stock ones, and you guys should go get yourself some, especially if you're gonna keep your truck, and that's gonna basically be your vehicle forever, and that's gonna be your show truck or your daily or whatever. If that's gonna be your personal vehicle, I would definitely go this route, because these are very strong and sturdy. Look at this sturdy. It barely wobbles. I haven't even put the bars yet. I have them inside the cab. They were a little tweaked and bent because they were used, but I'm gonna use those for now and pick me up some new ones. So the covers that go here, I'm gonna get new ones. I have the original ones. I'm gonna put the original ones for now. The idea is I'm gonna get new lights. I'm gonna get these step side covers here new, because I don't have any. So I'm gonna order those. Take a look and see what people use and what they see what they went with and see what they recommend. So yeah, that's what it looks like. I mean, it looks pretty good, guys. There you go again. Sorry, my camera keeps shutting off. I know what it does. I gotta check the settings on it. I haven't been able to get that done. So again, let me cover up my address. But there you go, Street Comp Set. There's their address right there. See if you guys want to know. And that's about it right now. I'll get back to it and I'll let you guys know how it's going. All right, see you in a bit. Hit it with 400, smooth it out. The rest of it, I just went over with the 400 just to give it a nice texture so that the paint can stick. And like I said, I'm just going to go with the black for now. Now, this is the idea. What you have, try to use and try to what your pocket can afford. So right now. I'm using this for the time being, and as of your project, everything's going to change. So today, we just take it step by step. So you can try to make it look as best as possible. What you have, clean it up, wash it, detail it, armor all it, whatever you got to do, wax it, make your truck look good for what it has. You can't afford expensive rims. Get what you got, and lower it, make it look nice until the time being, until you can afford something else. And project, don't be scarce. Projects take money, because if you can afford it, you go buy one that's already done. So that's what it looks like, guys, right now. I'm gonna wipe it down and then go ahead and shoot the black and go from there. All right, put some spray on here. I don't want to mess up the tape. This dry. Now this towel's not that clean, but it's good enough. It'll get me by for now. Like I said, the black that I'm putting on there is just for the time being. Most likely gonna sand it down again. Still has the DOT lettering on here. Shows the year. It says 99. Started a little bit, it's already dried. Looks like my battery's low. Charge it, switch out the battery, but just wanted you guys, started peeling it without you guys. You guys get that. Nice feeling. Peeled. Just like opening, it looks like that one. Just like opening a package. Too bad. It's pretty good. Shoot, I mean that black. There's a lot. Like I said, this one was given to me. The guy just gave it to me, threw it in the bunch of parts that were in the back of the truck, and he only had one left. He only had the passenger side. There we go. So you never know, you guys. Make sure you grab what you can grab, and if someone's willing to give you something, you can probably turn around and fix it. Now something like this, you can flip something like this and clean it up and resell it. I think this is the clear lens, or is the amber? Looks like it's the amber. Now, if I really wanted to get it really nice, maybe shoot a clear coat or smoke the rest of it. But I don't have that kind of. I don't have that kind of stuff yet. But hopefully, eventually, get that compressor going, and we'll be there. So, all right, little by little, guys. If I can do it, you can do it. Now, I really want you young guys to understand that sometimes you don't have to go to school. Now, if you can afford to go to school, then go ahead and do it, because you are going to get trained by professional people. But if you can learn being taught by someone, it will help, so you don't have to be in debt. And I'm not saying, not encouraging you not to go to school, but sometimes we just can't do that. I like to work with automobiles, and also too, I did not realize that was my calling until I got older. I mean, I wanted to do it, but didn't realize I was going to enjoy it so much. So everybody has their calling in your own time, but try to get it as you're younger, because it will help you out when you're younger, because you'll have more time to work on but to work your craft on whatever you're into. I enjoy this. I did this more as a hobby, but I used to do granite work, granite countertops, and that was fulfilling. Every time I would finish a kitchen, it was just awesome to see it done. I enjoy that. And it's kind of the same thing with the vehicle. I enjoy seeing it done afterwards. Some of the vehicles are not 100% where I want them, because everything, the more you want, the more it's more money invested in that vehicle. Some of these vehicles I have, I fix them to a point where I flip them, and the customer likes the way it looks, and I usually just go back to stock. I don't do nothing custom. You can do custom stuff, it's going to cost more money, but you can get by with stock for the time being, especially if it's a car that you're not going to keep. Now, if it's something that you're going to build for yourself, then I understand you want to go custom parts. Nah, I'm not saying this is the best, but it's enough to get you by, guys. And you don't have to pay nobody. This didn't take me that long. The only thing that took me long was doing the tape. As long as you use a sharp razor blade, you take your time. I cut and peeled at the same time, so I was peeling the tape as I was cutting, just to get that sharp edge down. No, you could probably do it. I just jumped through it on there, and you can probably use the edge of the tape to cover most of it. I end up just covering the whole thing with tape and started cutting it with the razor blade. Took a little longer, but not too much. As long as I took my time to get that very sharp point into that edge. I just had some packages from Prime show up, so I had to cut off real quick, so just in case he was need to ask me questions. But take a look at it. There you go. I mean, that helped a lot. These are not even buffed out. I mean, I think if I get them buffed out, maybe throw a clear coat or something, I can get my nephew to probably buff them out. If not, it's good for now. I mean, this is an older truck. Later, either I'm gonna get new ones, or like I said, I'll get another one and redo them. But dang, that helped a whole lot compared to that faded red. It looked like pink, faded red pink. And I can't believe this guy was just gonna throw it away. Anyways, guys, just kind of show you. I mean, you guys don't have to necessarily, let me turn you around real quick. You don't have to, I'm not saying you don't have to go to school, but you go to school, more power to you. But most of the stuff I learned was self-taught, and I worked a lot of construction jobs, and so I learned from a lot of experience that way. Cutting and welding and doing electrical work, plumbing. So you learn a lot from a lot of trade works. A lot of stuff that I learned were trade jobs, were construction, and you get an idea. It kind of falls in the same category, and if someone else can do it, you can do it too. And just get in there and just keep pressing on to learn and find someone that will teach you. So all right guys, comment, like, and subscribe if you guys like what I'm doing. So this is going to be a longer project, probably going to take, I'm thinking and giving myself a year, and we'll see where it goes from there, because I haven't done merch yet. But for you guys to know to subscribe, and I'm going to give up to 500 people, I'm going to give discounts on those guys that are subscribed to my channel already. So if you guys do enter this giveaway, I'm going to give you guys a discount or give you more entries because you guys were there from the beginning. All right, so like I said, comment, like, and subscribe. Hope you guys like it. Right now it's going to be a year, and then we'll go from there and then find out what's going to happen on this giveaway for you guys, because I got to make sure I tie everything up and make sure this is done right, and then I can bring this truck to you guys. All right, talk to you later. Bye. Hey guys, real quick, I got a couple more minutes on this card, and then I have to clean it up or change out the card. Anyways, I took the filler neck. This is the original one from the fleet side bed, and I cut the end off on the top of the filler neck, which was right here, and I cut off, I believe this is the one that was off this side, and then this side was the bottom end that goes into the gas tank. So I didn't remove the bed, I kept it like that. So I reached in and cut it with a razor blade, and just pretty much worked the way out just to loosen it and get this out, to get the whole neck out. After I did that, I went ahead and measured about how much it's probably going to be, and it came out to about 6 inches or 5.5. So it's about 6 and a half. So after that, well, this portion here, I kind of eyeballed it, and then I measured it from, I put this neck in, I bolted it to the bed. And then also too, these holes on these panels, you're gonna have to drill these in. So I went and drilled those holes a little bit more, because these screws wouldn't fit in there. And then I placed this in there, and then I got the hose, and from the side angle like that, you know, this was bolted in on the bed, on the panel, and then I measured from this point to there, that point to the tank, to figure out how much it's going to need. And what I went ahead and did is just cut off, I kind of eyeballed it and cut off what I needed it, but then I forgot about this. So they came out to about 6 inches, 5.5 to 6 inches. So what you could do is cut portions off until you figure out what size you need. And then there's this hose here that's on the inside of this neck like that. So this will come apart when you pull it out. And what I did is I took off 6 inches off of this. I think this is about 5.5 or 6 inches. It's about 6 inches roughly. So I took that off. This goes into the tank. I should be fine. If not, you know, I'll just go ahead and just replace it with a newer one. But for now, I wanted to do this to see if I could get away with it without having to buy one. All right guys, just wanted to show you what I did, give you an idea, so you probably do it yourselves. And then bolting these on is pretty much easy. Just be careful with a knife. You know, I use this just to clean it up on the edge after I cut it, because it was kind of rough. So I just went around the edges and started cleaning. They're not perfect, but they're good enough. And this is the one that's going to be on the outside. So there's the inner one hose, and this is the outer one. All right guys. All right guys, so just to add this on there, I went and put the hose in. Just wanted to show you guys how it looks. And then I put these on, these clamps, these hose clamps. This one is snugged on. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten that more when I put it on. And then this one is just there loose, and then I put some WD-40 to slide these on and make it a little more easier. It's going to be a little bit of oil residue, but it'll be fine for the gas tank. That's why you have a filter in there to go ahead and clean that up. It's not a lot of oil. It's just enough to the hose to be easier to put on. All right, guys, I got it in. You can see. So I just laid on my back, and there's an opening. Kind of see. You might carefully put some glasses on because get some dirt. So just underneath there, you see opening right there, and there's a hose right there. So I just worked it in this way, laying on your back, and push it up towards it, and work it back and forth, and then you can feel with your hands back there to see how close it is from the actual neck of the tank itself. Let me get you a better view so you can see it's right there, guys. All right, it's in there. So I just gotta tighten it up, and then I left that one loose, the top one right there. I let that loose if I could just get a little bit more, because that hose is just a little bit smaller. So I'll go less than 6 and probably go 5, guys. So like I said, cut little by little. I think I cut a little bit too much. All right, talk to you later. All right, quick. So I got the bolts in. See how nice and tight it is. It was really close, the hose, so maybe go less, probably go 5 instead of, you want to go 4, but like I said, cut it down little by little. But as you can see, it's right there. It's really close. You can see the back. It's pretty tight. And then I tighten up the ground wire, which is right there. That's a 10mm bolt. Just took it off the frame. That's pretty much it. It's like the only bolt, that bolt, and these two here, and then the straps, the hose clamps that are here. And like I said, this came out to about 6 for me. I would go 5 instead if you guys want to do the same thing, or cut it, you know, 2 inches, and then so on and so on, as much as you need. And I pretty much use 10mm. Also I used a couple of star ends for these bolts here, and then I use different types of screwdrivers to try to reach, and that's why I could not pull it from where I was at. I couldn't get a good position to go ahead and pull off this hose, because on that hose it has this bead on the gas tank itself, so when it goes over, it tightens it up, and after it tightens, it's been sitting there for a while. You can see that kind of the indentation in there. Anyway, so I cut it with a knife, and that's how I got it free. And this is with the bed on. Now it would be easier if the bed was off, but I wanted to leave the bed on because I had to figure out, measure where the gas tank was at, and where it was, where the filler neck was at on here, on this position, and then up to the gas tank. So I didn't want to move the bed, so I went ahead and just kept reaching. I was able to reach in there and pull it out. So yeah, and that bolt, that hose clamp on that one, it was at 8mm. I just put it on my ratchet, and I was able to reach in there and pry it out and take it out by hand. But yeah, guys, this is how it's looking right now. I still got to get the door, gas door, on. I have plenty of those sitting around. I'm just gonna paint one, probably black for now, because this is going to be black. The rest of the bed is going to be black, but right now it's just so I can fit it. So far everything's fitting good, and like I said, every once in a while you will have to grind. You can see some of the sheet from the fiberglass. When I put this light in, I'm gonna have to clean these holes as well for this light. I had to do the same thing for this one. So yeah, just take your time, and you guys can do it yourself. All right, if you have any questions, you need any help, let me know. I can answer them as best I can. All right, guys, talk to you later. Bye. Hey guys, so I just want to show you a little bit what I have to do. So these holes are a little small, so that's what you're going to run into with these panels. So let me show you real quick. See the screw? It's the original screw. Doesn't want to go in. Now this one I drilled it a little bit more, so they need to be drilled out a little bit more so they can fit the stock screws. I had to do the same to these, and these were fine. They landed perfectly fine. The one on the other side of the bed, I had to drill those a little bit, clean them up. So this will happen a little bit. And then this material here, it's a little thicker. Let's see. It's okay. So this is a little bit thicker, and it's just because the material of the fiberglass. So just have to come in here and kind of just shave this down a little bit so that the light can go ahead and slide in there. So that's what I had to do to the one over here, and it's a good thing I had that light so that I can go ahead and try it out and fit it. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and drill these out just a bit. Since this drill bit's a little smaller. Get yourself a little bit bigger, a bigger bit, but I don't want to do that because I don't want the bit to blow a hole through it. So I'd rather just kind of shave it down little by little instead of forcing it in there. And I don't want this to crack because it is fiberglass still. So. Could probably use a drill to make this job. I'm doing it because, like I said, I want to grind it. I want to take the least amount of material off as possible, and you can see the shavings off of that. Now, keep in mind, doing this could get a little itchy. But here's a good example of how many layers of fiberglass is on here. Look at that right here. You just see the layers of fiberglass that's been added to it. Okay, that works. Cool. Those both work. I'm gonna go ahead and install. I'm gonna reuse the one off the black bed. The maroon one, which was the original one. Well, I'm going to end up using this one because I didn't have one for this bed. So I'm going to paint in it regardless, so it'll be fine. Let me see if I can get a good view. You guys see me install it right here. Try to stay out of your guys' way. So the idea is this flap is gonna go inside. Like this. Well, looks like I'm gonna have to listen a bit. Give me a minute, guys. We're gonna have to loosen this. Take this, loosen this up a little bit. Hopefully that'll work. I don't want to take those screws all the way. I might have to take one off. Yeah, I'm gonna take one off. These were kind of hard to put in because the hose is dead on. So let's get away with that. Slip it towards the back, just like that. Just give it enough room so I can push it back. All right, let me set you up again. Hope I'm not in you guys' way. Get the hose lined up and get the bolts started. Not too tight. Just get them rolling snug. You don't want to strip them out. There you go, guys. Here it is. See how it lines up. It's good. That works. I think these holes here are for little bump stops. So let's see if I can find me some. And this is, I believe it's like a rubber tab. Goes there, the original one. That works though. That works. Alright guys, I'll get back right back to you when I'm done. See you in a bit. Alright guys, wasn't sure if I got this in there, but there's the light. Panel. What do you guys think? Alright guys, comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know if you guys like it. See if you guys are gonna be interested in this. 'Cause if you're not, I'm gonna keep it for myself. All right, talk to you later.